So, sir, according to you, how has IGM helped in promoting interdisciplinary activities among students from various different backgrounds? Like people from physics, chemistry, biology, or science may also take part in the same IGM project. So, how, according to you, has IGM helped in promoting this interdisciplinary culture?
Yeah. So IGM, by very definition, it's a very interesting idea of engineered materials, and that automatically brings in, because it's a new concept, new kinds of materials which do not exist, but you are imagining what kind of materials will do what. The materials may not be synthesized today, but you are imagining, and that imagination automatically brings in people from modeling, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and of course biology. And I think that is the beautiful thing, because this is an imagination. When you actually start developing a skill in the lab, it's a very specific skill. So people of that skill participate. But in the IGM, it's an imagination. So almost anybody can participate. And that is how people come together. Once they come together, they get to know each other. They get to appreciate other subjects. I think that is very important for any interdisciplinary research, is to appreciate other subjects. And that happens automatically during the course of discussion in IGM. And that is why IGM can easily promote cross discussions following the IGM event and interdisciplinary research.
Thank you, sir, for your kind answer. Coming to the next question, as a scientist yourself, what part of IGM projects and approaches to certain projects do you find particularly innovative and groundbreaking?
Yeah, I think the most innovative part is this thought that you are actually looking at an engineered material which today do not exist, but you may be able to engineer it to do certain things. I think that particular thought of interdisciplinarity, imagining the creativity, that is basically the innovative approach. Creativity, I find that is the most crucial part of the IGM. And I am very happy that many of our students, young age students, are very, very creative. So they are able to come up. Maybe they will come up with something that may not eventually, help the society, but the idea itself advances science. I think that's very important to realize.
Thank you, sir. Advancing to the next question, as we all know, to do something great, we need the right mentorship and guidance. So, what, according to you, does the role of a mentor play in making a good IGM project?
Yeah, it's a very important question, because the IGM brings together people from different areas, different subjects, and they come up with certain ideas. At that age, the ideas may not be fertile, ideas may not be very fruitful. So the job of the mentor is to really bring all of these together, to bring all these students together, students with diverse thoughts together, and guide them or channel them towards a project which will be viable, which people will perceive to be viable, even though it does not exist today, but they will perceive to be viable, such material. So I think the mentorship is very important. Mentorship also doesn't mean you are mentored by your own department faculties. You are being mentored by other departments, you are being mentored by other discipline, senior students. So the mentoring plays a very important role. In fact, without mentoring, this project will not even go through, let alone succeed. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Coming to the next question, students always face setbacks in various forms while developing the project. What advice would you like to give to the participants to overcome these situations?
Yeah, so I think I must say that setbacks must be there, because this is a project which is extremely different from a standard project that you do in your own subject. It's a highly interdisciplinary project. So obviously your thoughts may not materialize. So this is one of the first setback that you will have, is actually a setback of your thoughts, setback of your imagination. So how do you set your imagination forward? Then the second challenge is to pull all people together and then make something, demonstrate in the lab, something in the lab which can be the precursor of your eventual thoughts in the IGM. So I think you have to do certain things in the lab. Some demonstration has to be there. And that's a challenge, because you require money, you require to collect materials, you require to make sure that the money is used properly. So obviously, to get go to the institute at that stage. Getting money is not easy. So even gathering resources is a challenge. Then of course, once the project comes through, you have to rehearse, you have to make sure that you do a proper presentation to the community and generate again resources for travel and so on. So many of these are the challenges, but I would say that in the IISER, logistic challenges have been overcome in the terms of resources and money, and I'm sure our students have been able to overcome the challenges of innovative project in the iGEM because our students have been very successful in many iGEM competitions. So I'm very proud particularly of IISER Kolkata. During the time I was there, we had great success during the iGEM.
Thank you, sir. Just like as you said that you have seen many award-winning iGEM projects as in your tenure as a director and also as a professor. How do you view iGEM as a competition? Means what are your views regarding this competition?
Yeah, so I think the competition, this is a very important competition because it allows people to think interdisciplinarily, think innovative. I think that's a very important thing, and that is the reason I like this competition. It is very different from all other competitions. It is not an exam. It is not presentation to just your peers or what has been taught and you present. It is completely half-baked. It is half-baked by you, and you are presenting in a novel way. So this is the challenge where there is no format, and that is what I like about iGEM. That there is no specific format in which you have to do. It's not like an exam, and I think this is a very good thing because this promotes thinking. I think that is the main purpose of the iGEM.
Thank you, sir, for your kind guidance. And coming to the last question, your final words to the current iGEM team of IISER Kolkata.
Well, I don't know who all are there in the iGEM this year. You are there, okay? I mean, but good luck to all of them, and I'm sure that the team will succeed just as it has succeeded before. I have great faith in the IISER Kolkata students, in particular in their way of doing interdisciplinary research. I think that is the most important thing that I would say iGEM would succeed in doing. And I bless them and I wish best of luck, and they bring laurels and awards this year as well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for this interview. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you for giving us time for this interview. So, starting with the questions, my first question is, how does iGEM help in promoting interdisciplinary activities?
So if you look from the very beginning when it started, it involves biology, chemistry, physics, and now to a great extent computer science, because tools like artificial intelligence, machine learning are coming in a big way in analyzing the huge amount of data, mining patterns. So it's very welcome development, because finally the biology is the last frontier. So any development in biology, particularly gene, its modification, its use for control of disease, improving health, removing effects of pollution, very important. But the data set is huge. Finding subtle changes, which are really the cause of anything, is very difficult. That is where AI, machine learning, computer science is coming in big. I'm particularly happy with this iGEM project because it's from the very beginning. It actually has combined all these, and also Kolkata by character is characterized by interdisciplinary science. So this is from the very beginning involving first year, second year students to senior students, PhD students, guided by faculty from biology, physics and other departments. It has truly incorporated the spirit of IISER Kolkata and synergy between higher level students and beginners, and it creates a process of continuity so that first year students get into the project, eventually carry the discipline, carry the ideas what the seniors are generating, and faculty are of course there, and physics, biology, chemistry, all these people together, the interdisciplinary character is maintained. Physics people maybe from only model, but nowadays combining the effects of the positive aspects of all the branches of science, the basic for nature, particularly biology, is a long way to go, and this is the only way. combining efforts from different disciplines of natural science. So I think that way I am very very happy with IGEM because it has really carried that spirit very very deep.
Thank you, sir. That was a very valuable insight from your side. Coming to the next question, as a scientist yourself, what aspects of IGM project do you find particularly innovative?
You know, I have out of very curiosity towards genetics. You know, I have kept track of the our IGEM project, and in fact, some of the projects for which got prizes in previous years, I have also used their content. In fact, if you remember, I always used to ask if there are any technologies as come out of it. Now, see, from my childhood, I come from village. From my childhood, I have seen rice, what kind of diseases rice is affected. I remember in my village, I used to always wonder that if they can, this natural water hyacinth, which is robust against any kind of disease, if that gene can be modified with rice and trying to after reading a little bit of genetics in our intermediate science, trying to do some experiment myself, of course not very successful, but these kind of things coming from a village has naturally occurred in my mind. And therefore, particularly this project, what I see is that there is this disease of leaf blight, where the leaves turn yellow, is detection and cure through natural processes, namely taking the oil, modifying its gene, and then carrying that thing to vegetation. So that in a very natural way, without avoiding this kind of antibiotics or using pesticide, it is very useful. And if it can get successful and eventually a product will come out, that will be very very useful for the nation in general and mankind also in the world at large.
Right, sir. So a good teacher is always necessary for doing great things. So what, according to you, is the role of a mentor in making a successful IGM project?
See, honestly speaking, this is a very good question. It actually is true that you need a good mentor to do good science. All of us, some of us who are old enough to try years, always remember one or two teachers who are motivated. I still remember in my class 7, there was a mathematics teacher who through his discipline improved the mathematics standard of our entire batch, which was very non-uniform because we came from different functional schools. And the kind of discipline, methodical approach he actually used, I used the same thing later on in my life. And to carry out research, this methodical approach was very much important. Similarly, all through life, I remember when in USA, my professor was Junji Sakita, Japanese person. Even now also, only when I get up, the first person that comes to my mind is Professor Sakita. And his words, which I have often used, like in August 15th and January 26th, that to combine the wisdom of the old and the sharpness of the young, you can conquer the world. This is a famous saying of Japan. Sometimes it naturally comes to my mind that India is empowered with a lot of young people. But we have also enough number of old wise people with knowledge. Combine them together so that young will do the work, old people will guide. Now here, for example, if you see, the role is precisely in that. Quote unquote, old people are our faculty. Right? With their teaching, their everyday activity, they are fairly busy. But youth people is there, like an army. And they are enthusiastic. Particularly when it is interdisciplinary. Because physics people will be always curious about what's going on in biology. Biology people will be always curious how the equipment is giving them this kind of signatures. Because I remember when I read this very thin book, the story of double helix, where I'm semi-employed, doing PhD in physics, where it was one of his jobs to look at biology, and Crick, 35-year-old, continuously driven by the director of the lab, you are old enough, complete your PhD and go for your jobs, still spending time with a young man, Watson, 23. He was not very much mature, but had an idea that there is something beyond protein. And together, with all hurdles, one fine morning, when this Nobel laureate, the director comes, he sees this helix, double helix, built out of plastic modules, and which matches perfectly, and that leads to the breakthrough. So similarly, what you see there, the physics equipments, physics idea is X-ray, and biology is being classed here. And we need to have this kind of spirit to take it forward. Mentors play a big role, big role in it. And again, old and young, wisdom of the mentors, the experience of the mentors, analytical ability of the mentors, and the sharpness of youth and this working spirit of hours and hours without getting tired of the university is the mantra to take this whole project and take it forward.
Right, so that's a very inspiring answer. Coming to the next question, students always means they get disheartened when they don't get the desired results. What would you like to tell them?
See, I mean, particularly when we have got PhD. PhD is a domain where you experience this kind of thing very quickly. Maybe when you work, a lot of times you find you have worked for 6 months, 1 year, and you don't get any results. Second times you find somebody else has just finished that work when you are almost there. So these kind of things, and suppose sometimes also you find your contemporary people are doing much better than you. It leads to a lot of pressure. In education, it comes. Education in the sense of you did very well in high school. Now you are coming to these kind of things like we face. Now suddenly you are nobody there. Everybody is same. That brings in this thing that I was such a good student, now what to do. So that creates. Best good way to proceed is that life is a long process. Particularly research is a joy. Research is not an aim. And it's always true that if somebody has done something, you can always do better. And it is also true that ideas are there in the air at a given time. If somebody has just finished what you are doing, means it is not exactly that you are playing. This idea was there. Somebody has solved it. There are many, many examples where we find out that people point out that it's not a question of price. Yeah. Happiness is that the idea has got a price. So therefore, these things will come, it comes both in classrooms, it comes in sports, right? It comes in very senior scientists. You might have heard about cases of suicide. I would not mention the name. Very common right scientist from Stanford. Nowhere use chemical imbalance and these things. So there what happens is you stop you come out, go you meet nature, learn from nature, and always believe that if something has been done, something more can be done to make it better.
Right. Coming to the last question, any final words of advice that you would like to give to our IGM team?
See, my sincere advice is look for carrying out this technology for the help of man. Make it technology because that is the way forward. We have this right foundation. We have many other ways of encouraging younger people to come and carry it through startup mode, carry it through innovation, carry it through patent, so that it possibly will lead to job innovation, possibly it will make industrialists out of some of it, innovators out of some of it. And Western countries, if you see, in which many of our Indians have contributed. Innovation, going towards technology, technology bringing money, more high quality research. Particularly if you see right now to do biology, you need very, very high quality research, very, very high quality research. I saw one IIT, this 23 crore something like that. Right. So it's like essentially like a microscope, very fine microscope. You can see at a very imaging you can do at a very fine scale. But you have to spend a lot of money. That lot of money now government is. But if you see, for example, private companies in Korea, they have a private company having 5 or 10 of those machines. Where are they coming from? They are coming from innovation, going to technology, buying, making product, selling and bringing back to itself. So those kind of things when I ask you here, I am saying these things, what we have got, can some of these things be taken forward?
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights on these topics, and thank you for giving your valuable topics.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for agreeing to be a part of this interview. Coming to my first question, how do you believe that IGEM helps in promoting interdisciplinary activities?
I think IGM gives a very good opportunity for our young student to take up a project, which is take up a research project which is related to real life problem. Okay, so for example, human health, designing new vaccine, or helping in food production, like reducing the synthetic fertilizer, and also there are other challenges. Like climate change, biodiversity, etc. So if one has to look into, carry out a research and find a solution and a realistic solution. So just one discipline is not really equipped enough. So these problems are complex problems. So when we look at a complex problem from various perspectives, so that helps to bring new ideas, new insight into this problem, and then that lead to a novel finding. Just looking at the problem from biology perspective, or looking at from the chemistry or from physics, or using some just only one conventional method might have overlooked, missed out the underlying dynamics. So that way, I think that in today's time, interdisciplinary research is very important.
Yeah.
And I myself do interdisciplinary research in physics and biology. So I definitely endorse interdisciplinary research.
Right, ma'am. Coming to our next question, as a scientist yourself, what aspects of an iGEM project do you find particularly innovative?
Okay, so as I already said that iGEM encourages the student to take up a real problem. Okay, and so let me talk about our students. So this year, so they have taken a research project which is very relevant to solve a problem which our farmers are facing today. So particularly saying that they have taken up a bacterial infection of rice plant. So, and then this bacterial infection, it causes a huge loss of food grain. And if we look at if we think about the rice production in India, and specifically I have checked even did Google when this student have talked about this project. So this is India is the second largest country in production of rice, and then largest in exporting rice in the world. And because of this bacterial infection, so much loss been incurred. So if there are some solution could be provided, new insight into this existing problem could be provided, that is definitely going to help our agriculture sector. So yes.
Right, ma'am. Coming to my next question, what role does mentorship play in making a successful iGEM project?
That's a good question. Okay, so this iGEM is encouraging the young student, talented, budding scientist with their dream. They have a lot of potential to do a real life experience, carrying out research. How would a research would continue? First of all, see, one has to find out a project, find out some idea, find out problem. Like our student have taken up, they themselves have, found out this problem. And then just finding the problem is not only one thing. So you have to also see the methods to solve. So they are, as you have asked even previously, how the interdisciplinary approach would help. So there are our student coming from the having bio major, they are doing the bio model, they are working on they are basically synthetically engineering the E. coli bacteria, and then they would produce the vesicle, and that would contain the CRISPR, which is the gene editing tool, and that will fuse with Xanthomonas as the pathogen, and then block the gene that is producing the virulence. Okay, so then that's the bio part. Now I am mentoring the mathematical modeling team. So then there are also few students, they are looking at the mathematical, they are developing mathematical model at different level. So let me tell you a little bit more, because I am also involved in this. As you asked that how this mentoring is going to help. Obviously, a young student, they have a lot of enthusiasm, lot of ideas. So sometimes as a mentor, you also what help to, like when they are bouncing ideas, then ma'am, is it going to help? Is it work? Could we do this? Could we do that? So that's where their mentoring comes. So they have a lot of ideas. Like I would tell you that this year particularly, I'm very much impressed. So the student have developed model at different length scale. In one hand, they are studying the kinetic model. They wrote the chemical rate equation to study the signaling molecules of xanthomonas, that's the pathogen, and also the inhibition pathways. Then they are also developed reaction diffusion model, solving partial differential equation and looking at how the bacterial pattern, the growth pattern of bacteria, and how it depends on the concentration of the virulent protein. Then another level, they have developed model at the population level, how the infection would spread in a rice field and also its recovery time. And not only that, they are also studying the machine learning tool to predict future mutation, and that's way they can tune the genetic circuit accordingly. So basically, this theoretical team and the biological team, and also there is this human practice, the application. Actually, this is a real life problem. So there has to be like someone is going to, a community is going to directly benefit from this. Okay, so they are working together hand in hand. So what I could see, the students are really working hard, and I hope that we will have some new insight to
Right.
we'll
ma'am.
find some insight.
As you rightly mentioned, you are one of the co-project instructor in this project, and you are looking at the mathematical modeling part. So how do you believe that math modeling helps in boosting a project?
Oh, so physics and mathematics, they actually provide a powerful tool to look at the biological phenomena, as I have already said. So what happened that sometimes the conventional biological method which people are already doing, so that might not be able to, and sometimes it's a very complex, like I said, it's a complex problem, and it is not also possible to do all the experiment. Okay, so what happened now, if somebody looked at synthetic, like a simulation, computer simulation, also in pen and paper they could work out. So theoretically they predict, for example, how the signaling pathways are to detect the signaling molecule or the inhibition pathways, or even how the bacterial growth pattern would change. So their theoretical prediction could be gone into this. Whoever is doing the experiment, there would be an input, so they can tune their experiment following the theoretical prediction, and then it actually goes back and it actually work hand in hand. So once they have some observation, they will found some result in experiment, then theoretical model also can we could tune that and then see that basically we can see that underlying dynamics of this. Okay, what is the root cause of this problem?
Right, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you for your valuable insight. Coming to my next question, while developing a project, students always face different setbacks, like desired results we are not being able to achieve. So students get demotivated. So what words of motivation would you like to give to them?
Yeah, I know this carrying out research is not always be smooth sailing. There are a lot of difficulties, and so I would say that do not get disheartened. So work as a team, like I have told you. So there are different, it's a teamwork. There are this biomodeler, there are math modeler, there are human practice. So all of them are working hard, they are bringing insight together, and this working together as a team that's the strength. And I would say that iGEM is providing a unique opportunity to this young student to carry out a research project, and so I would say that learn and cherish this moment, enjoy doing science.
Right, ma'am. Coming to my final question of this interview, any final words of encouragement for our IGM team?
Yeah, so work as a team. Please work as a team and enjoy doing research. Learn, and as I already said, cherish this experience, and finally wish you all the best and good luck in the competition.
Thank you, ma'am. We would like to conclude our interview over here, and we would like to thank you again for giving us your valuable time.
Thank you so much
Thank you.
for taking this listening to me and then what I have to say.
Sure,
Thank you.
Thank you. Valuable time. Coming to my first question, how do you believe that IGEM helps in promoting interdisciplinary activities?
Yeah, the thing that, so then I have to go back when it really started in MIT, long back, 2003-4, this time. So they, okay, and always doing interdisciplinary touch, but the main thing I have to make a genetically engineered machine. It's a biological system, mainly prokaryotic bacteria, can be engineered so that you can exploit it in a good sense for your benefit. Okay? Now, though it apparently looks like bacteria, genetic engineering, but it's really interdisciplinary because even if you deal with the biological system, you cannot deny, first of all, physics and chemistry. These are the fundamental laws. And not only that, whatever you use, the proper concentration, okay, how to be, one piece of suppose gene or gene product, we are going to engineer with another one with additional whatsoever. For all these things, you need to know the other subjects. That is the one thing to execute. Secondly, what product you are going to get in your hand, it has enormous implications in terms of its utility. Can be used to clean the environment or your some energy saving method of production of some chemicals, some green synthesis, not in terms of chemistry green synthesis, but less hazardous synthesis. So many things can be done, and not only that, by that way you can understand the bacterial behavior in order to do something, where you cannot deny the interaction, the pattern formation altogether. So physics automatically will come. It's really an interdisciplinary approach, and it comes with a prediction, mathematical model. And not only that, it's all overall is basically science. Though it is genetic engineering, but it's basically science. It includes all the disciplines basically.
Scientist yourself, what aspects of an IGEM project do you find particularly innovative and groundbreaking?
Yeah, there cannot tell only one project. Any project which targets a social problem, sometimes it takes the help of some existing methodology, technology, knowledge base, and to work with it, brain work, to come up with something emerging, to use the knowledge base in technique you are learning, the help you are getting from the IGM committee, we gave you the kit. Okay, together you can target a burning problem in your society. We should have at least a local implication, greater implication in terms of geography and in terms of the problem gravity, like any disease, clean environment, okay, energy, food storage, everything very important.
Right, sir. Coming to my next question, what role does mentorship play in making a successful IGEM project?
Absolutely, mentors are more experienced than you are.
Right.
So, otherwise, in my belief, everybody is born scientist. When you are curious, you started playing with something in your neighborhood, you are already become a scientist, and you gradually develop your logic. We, the mentors, are more experienced than you are, so we can steer you. But actually, the students are the real working force here, and mentor's role is definitely there because you are doing this project during the summer. You do not know exactly how research really goes on. So thinking about a project is one thing. Execution needs so many other parameters also. A mentor is experienced in terms of knowledge base, in terms of technology, in terms of execution, administration. So it's really helpful.
Right, sir. As a former project instructor yourself, any fond experiences you would like to share with us?
Every moment spending with the students who are involved in the iGEM is always a fun experience. They came with some problem. Let me tell you how it started. I must have. So it was not me. It was Anish, along with a student from physics, I think, Prajol. They came to me. I was the chairman at that time, and they proposed it. And along with me, the other colleagues were also there. So we told that they are going to do this who are very interested. So the problem group also came and joined. And I think his name was Ishika, not Ishika, Rishika. I now remember, it's very difficult to remember. She was doing something on arsenic in my laboratory. And based on that, she proposed something that arsenic toxicity can be removed by engineering a bacteria. And from there, this is crystallized. This is gives them enormous happiness, first of all. Something we working in my lab, if they thought it can be extrapolated. Secondly, a young group of students, okay, they all get together to have some innovative ideas to do something good for them in terms of learning, technology development, making our institute proud, okay, for everything. And really, every moment was enjoyable to me. And when they got the gold, it was really excitement. And second time they got the gold as well as built mathematical model. Okay, and third time they did not go. They just started with, in our case, 2018, 19, 20, you know, the era of COVID, 21, again we started. And what happened actually, they got not only gold, they got something different thing also. So this gives an excitement. It's not your result oriented motivation, but when you get the result, it's a different level of feeling.
Right, so that's a very valuable insight from your side. Coming to my next question, while making a project, students always face different kind of setbacks. Like suppose the desired result is not coming, so they might face disappointment. So what would you like to tell them to motivate them in such situations?
If somebody finds himself or herself a little bit demoralized, demotivated because result is not coming, it reflects that he or she is involved. If somebody is not involved at all in doing something, it doesn't matter result coming or not. So in that case, my advice would be these kind of apparent failure is basically the part of your achievement. By that you will learn, you do it again, you do it again, you do troubleshoot. So in science, troubleshooting is the most important thing. To think logically why this really happened, and then the mentors will also come to help them with respect to our experience how to troubleshoot. So always anybody doing this project or anything, not to get demoralized, demotivated any time of your life, during any part of your project. Okay, because this is the part of personal project. Any project, it's a 5 years PhD, 6 months project, or 2 months IGM, whatever it is.
Right, so
There is no question of demotivation. Everything the learning. If you can take everything as a learning, you will not be demotivated.
right, so that's a very kind motivation that you gave to us. Coming to our last question, any final words of encouragement you would like to give to the present IGM team?
Absolutely. You are always given a dream, also with the power to make it true. That's what you want to do, however. Am I right? So the point is that whatever you do, you need to be focused, hardworking, and don't get demoralized or demotivated in any time. And I believe the project you are doing will get something, and you present yourself, the whole group, to the Jamboree, I think in November. Yeah, so November will be in Jamboree. Be there, enjoy, learn, and I believe that you are going to win something.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir, for agreeing to be a part of this interview and for your kind words of
You
encouragement.
are always welcome.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for giving us time for this interview. Coming to my first question, how does IGM help in promoting interdisciplinary activities according to you?
This competition basically involves many of the practical problems to solve a practical problem, and if you want to solve a practical problem, one has to involve all branches of science, starting from the mathematics till biology, and therefore at the IISER student you can contribute more because here you have all interdisciplinary subjects.
Right, sir. Coming to my next question, as a scientist yourself, what parts of an IGM project do you find particularly innovative?
So I don't have clear idea about all the projects, but what I would like to mention, since this is focused on the practical problems, that's the most important, because in a society, if scientists contributes to solve the problem, particular problem of society, that is the most important thing. Otherwise, we will be not much connected with the society. So solving the problems related to society, that's the most important thing.
Right, sir. Coming to my next question, What role does mentorship play in making a successful project?
Okay, I am a theoretical chemist by training, so I don't have much involvement in this. But as a dean, I can always mentor. And if you look on the IISER mandate, the IISER mandate says that we need to have the master program with the flair of research, and we need to have the very high quality research program, and then also we need to popularize the science in the society. So if you look on this project, iGEM project, since we are solving the society problems, that will be very good, and that's kind of outreach to the society. And all of you are the BSMSU students, and therefore this is giving a interaction with the research problems, and that's the most important thing which I understand.
Right, sir. Coming to my next question. Students always face different setbacks while performing or making a project. What words of motivation would you like to give them to overcome this?
So, like you told that this to solve a problem, basically we need the expertise in the different branches of the science like mathematics, physics, chemistry, life science, and maybe also the earth science. And this is where that could be a problem to get the proper experts from the different domain of the science. But at IISER Kolkata or any of the IISERs, we have this all the branches in the first 2 years we give training to the all the subject of the science like maths, physics, chemistry, and biology, and this will help to solve the problems. So I guess that the training at IISERs is really useful to solve the problems of the idea.
Right, sir. Coming to my last question. Any final words to our current IGEM team?
I will say best of luck, and I hope your project is really good, and all of you put full potential to in this company, sir. That's what I would like.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to say, yeah, good luck.
Thank you, sir. We conclude this interview over here, and we also like to thank you for giving us your valuable time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for being a part of this interview. So, coming to my first question is, how do you believe that IGM helps in promoting interdisciplinary activities?
Thank you. The whole concept of IGM comes from using synthetic biology to solve problems. The synthetic biology is a technique, but the technique comes from using different disciplines of science, including engineering, including biology, including mathematics. So by nature of it, synthetic biology is a field which involves, and actually synthetic biology came about from chemical engineers, not biologists. So any project which sort of fulfills the IGM goals by nature is interdisciplinary and should have, ideally should have students from across biology, chemistry and mathematics at least. Uh, every year we aren't able to attract students from all three branches, but I wish it becomes more and more interdisciplinary in the future. But and this is facilitated by the types of projects that are submitted to IGEM.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful insight on this matter. Coming to my next question, as a scientist yourself, what aspects of IGEM do you find particularly innovative?
So I think the first thing that I find, from my position of experience of many years, is that students get an opportunity to think on their own. They get an opportunity to lead their own project, which is sometimes not possible in a research lab where they learn techniques. Often they have to follow the general ideas of the lab. So here, students are the main drivers. They navigate the bureaucracy. They understand what it takes to run a lab. They go for funding from external sources. So in a sense, it sort of it mimics an independent scientist that you would become, years from now. So I think everything about iGEM is good, and in the sense that it prepares you as a future scientist.
Right, sir. That's a wonderful point that you have shed light upon. Coming to my next question, what role does mentorship play in making a successful IGEM project?
So I think the way, and I can speak for myself, the way I see it as a sort of a encouragement for the students to be themselves, to develop their ideas, to support them when they go, when they are um, when they face an impediment, be it in terms of navigating the systems of sort of buying and running the lab, to impediments in terms of science. So in a sense, it is very similar to um, an experience that a PhD student goes through, except that here it is, undergraduates who usually do not have that experience at that point of time. Um, but otherwise, it's, we treat the best undergraduates as like graduate students, as PhD students. So I think that's how I have seen my role.
Right, sir. Coming to my next question, students always face different setbacks while making a project, like they don't get their desired results, and this may lead to demotivation and all those things. So, how would you like to motivate such students who are facing these issues?
So things which are in my control in terms of my intellectual inputs, in terms of navigating um, the, as I said, the administrative part of it, there I would I chip in. But I think part of this iGEM also trains students to accept that the ideas that you start with may not actually result in result in the things that you get in the lab. So it's a it evolves. So you have an hypothesis, you do the experiment. If it doesn't work out, then you sort of modify your hypothesis and go where the results point to. So there are some things which can be solved in terms of technical inputs, and some things they learn that that's how the science is. So in a way they are learning the uh, you know how science happens.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
Coming to my next question, since you are the project instructor of this year's IGM project, what are your comments on the project that the team is making?
So I think it's a very important project that they have developed. Um, the rice is one of the staple foods. It contributes to a significant amount of calories in Asia and let's say Africa. Um, recent news have shown that the effects of when India decides that it's not going to export rice, the prices have, I think, it's at the highest in the last 10-15 years. So the subject is very important. Um, the interventions that this project aims at in terms of modifying organisms that are important for this that causes this disease. Those techniques are very state of the art, and if successful, it is going to make a difference. I think it's a very important project.
Right, so we all hope for the best and we hope we get the gold medal also. And coming to my final question, any final words for our IGM team?
Um, I hope that they take this experience with them as they prepare for grad school and beyond that, as a student in a PhD program, because that would be the time where they lead their own projects. They they are much more involved than, let us say, as an undergraduate working in a lab. And I think this is just a stepping stone to their future as a scientist. So irrespective of the gold or whatever medals, the knowledge that they take out of this, the experience that they take out of this would be, I think, incredible and would help them in the future.
Right, sir. That